Hello and Happy New Year. It's Angus here, back in the Bureau studio for the first time in 2026. And this National Weather Forecast video, we'll take a look at the weather across the nation, across the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the 3rd and 4th of January. And in terms of rainfall, there's a few areas we're keeping our eye on through this weekend, mostly up here in the northeast. There's been a whole lot of rain across North Queensland since about Christmas time, and it's another wet one there on Saturday. But we also see a strong rainfall signal through parts of New South Wales. That's showing us where the next storm outbreak will be brewing this weekend. Outside of those areas in the east, though, we've got lots of clear skies and a lot of sunshine across the country. Let's go state by state, starting up in Queensland. The heaviest falls here will be north of Mackay, in particular along the east coast from Mackay up to Cairns, where we could see some pockets of really quite heavy rainfall. It's very hard to pinpoint exactly where, though, so anyone along that coast, do keep an eye on the weather and in particular any warnings that are issued. There will also be showers and thunderstorms across central and western parts of the state. It's been wet there as well, so continuing to see water on the ground, water feeding the rivers, and the river levels are still very high, so likely to see some flooding continuing across the north of the state. Elsewhere in Queensland, a couple of showers and the chance of a storm across the southeast for Brisbane, up through the Wide Bay Burnett area around Bundaberg as well, and perhaps into parts of the Downs. But from the Western Downs out to the far west, it is going to be bright and sunny. New South Wales is looking at a nice bright morning, but around about lunchtime we'll see a few showers and then storms building across the tablelands and mountains, all the way from the far north to the far south of the state. That does mean a high chance of a thunderstorm around the Canberra area some stage during the afternoon or evening. There's also a chance that one or two of those storms which develop in the mountains might just drift out towards the east coast. So it's one of those days where you can't rule out a thunderstorm through Wollongong, Sydney or Newcastle, even if it's a fairly low risk. Maybe a good day to keep an eye on the weather radar, particularly through the second half of the afternoon. A risk of storms through the western slopes and plains as well for the likes of Dubbo and Wagga Wagga, but any further west from there should be a bright day. Warm temperatures expected across Victoria, most of the state in the 30s, except the south coast where a sea breeze will keep temperatures around about 10 degrees cooler in the low 20s. Bright and sunny through the morning. We'll see a few storms develop in the afternoon, anywhere really from Melbourne across the Gippsland regions up through the northeast ranges as well. Any storms that do get going through the second half are unlikely to bring much rain, just a modest amount of rainfall and a few rumbles of thunder expected. Outside of that, it will be dry and often sunny. A pleasant day expected across Tasmania, some summery weather in store. There'll be a mixture of sunshine and cloud for most areas, and the afternoon will bring a couple of showers down through the southern mountains, maybe down through other parts of the far south here, and maybe a shower across the northeast around the St Helens area too, but none of the wet weather is expected to be very impactful, just a couple of millimetres at most. Bright sunny skies expected across most of South Australia. It will be a fairly warm day for the northern half of the state and somewhere near seasonal across these southern areas. The wind will be blowing fairly strongly, particularly across the Eyre Peninsula and around the Gulfs. We do see a couple of wind symbols for Whyalla and Port Augusta. Other places will get at least moderate breezes as well. Adelaide tracking for a 30-degree maximum temperature. Warm weather and sunny skies across Western Australia, at least most of the state. Temperatures will be around the mid-30s across the west coast, and that will rise to around about 40 degrees for the Wheat Belt, the Great Southern and parts of the interior. It is a little cooler along the south coast down here. Very hot and sunny around the Pilbara. We see 40-degree temperatures through inland parts of the north as well. And finally, we'll take a look at the far north of Australia, and wet season conditions just keep on rolling across the top end. Westerly winds bring often cloudy skies, as well as showers and storms in and around the Darwin area. There's the potential for some heavier rainfall around the Gregory and Daly districts in the Northern Territory too. We'll also see some storms across the Kimberley that could get as far to the west as Broome. Through central parts of Australia, from Tennant Creek down towards Uluru, mostly bright skies with the low risk of any showers or storms. And into Sunday now, continuing to watch the same areas for that potential heavy rainfall, mostly around the north and east of Queensland. Again, from about Mackay northwards is where we could see the most significant rain and thunderstorms. Another very wet day up there, and continued flooding impacts are expected. It will be another day with thunderstorms possible through this area, with Canberra and Sydney both in line for a thunderstorm on Sunday. And particularly in Sydney, definitely one to pay attention to, with the start of the final Ashes test maybe being rain affected on day one. Cooler conditions and cloudy skies for Hobart and Melbourne, while it's bright and sunny from Adelaide across to Perth. Thanks very much for checking in on the weather with me today. You can always find more information on the Bureau's website or app. Have a great day.